So in this case, we are going to consider the third order determinants, but we are not going to look into the calculation of the determinant on its own because there are certain things that we need to understand before we reach that part of determining the determinant. All right. The third order, I explained this before from our previous class, the order of how it is supposed to be. So just gonna use the letters A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, like that. So this is a simplification that we can use, the order that we can simply apply from 3 by 3 determinants. That is the order of a 3 by 3, 3 rows and 3 columns. Remember the order, 3 by 3, 3 rows, 3 columns. That is third order. So on that, you will end up calculating determinant just like what we saw previously when we were dealing with a 2 by 2 matrix, which is of the what? The second order, determining second order determinants. But under the third order, we are going to consider first the minor of an element from that third order determinant that you're given. What is the minor of an element? You are given a certain order like this, then you're asked to determine the minor of the element A, the minor of the element E, the minor of the any number that you be given in that given order. So what is that minor? Let's take an example of A. Let's say we want to consider, sorry for that, we want to consider A as our element. It can be B, it can be any letter that is inside. The minor of element A simply represents the determinant that is found, by closing the row and column with element A. All right. So I'm saying the minor of element A. I'm taking this as an example, minor A. The minor of element A, is taken as the determinant that is found by what? By closing, getting rid of that. By closing, eliminating the row and column with element A. Where the element is. They say B, they say C, where that element is. So you close the row and column that has got that element. We are focusing on what? On A. So in our case, you are going to close the row where A is. This is our A. In which row? In the first row, you close it. And what? The column where it is, where A is, this is the column where A is. You get rid of it. It is not just to close, but to eliminate that. To eliminate that row and column where the element A is. You eliminate the row and the column. So if you are to eliminate this from our order, this is the one that you're given. What is it that you're left with? You are left with E, F, H, and I, a 2 by 2, which is the order 2 of determinant. This is what you're left with. Remember, we are saying it is the determinant found by. It is the determinant. So meaning to say the minor of element A in our case will be equal to the determinant that is found by closing this, the determinant. So what is left? These are the ones that are left. So you're finding the determinant of what? E, F, H, and I. This is the minor of A. Remember, guys, from our previous class, we had to determine determinants from what? Second order. So we know this. We're just going to consider what? The major diagonal minus the minor diagonal. So what is it that you have in the major diagonal? E times I, like that, minus F times what? F times H. So if these were numbers, definitely you're obtaining what? The exact values from there. That's the minor of an element. You close that. All right, let's take numerical values. Let's say we're given this, all right, for an example. Given, all right, so let's say, sorry for that. Let's say we are given 0, 3, -5, -2, 6, 4, -3, 7, 11. Let's say this is what we are given. Then you are being asked to determine or to find the minor of the element. Find the minor of the element now. The minor of what? All right, let's say, okay, let's take 0 first. B, -5. C, all right, let's take +4 like this. So let's start with A. A, we need to find the minor of what? Of the element of 0. This is where we have got our 0. This is where we have got our 0 here. We have it. They are not going to ask you the minor of the element which is not here, no. They can ask anyone from this 11, 7, -3. The concept remains the same. The minor of 0, of that element 0 that you're given, is simply the determinant, like I said before. It is simply what? The determinant that is found. So we have to determine the determinant that is found by closing the row and column with that element where 0 is. We close the row and column where 0 is. We close the row and the column. We close it. What is it that you're left with? Determine the determinant of that. You are left with 6, 4, 7, 11 in that order. Determine the determinant. Just like that. So the minor of that is the determinant that is found by closing row and column of that element. So minor of 0, you close the row where 0 is, the column where 0 is. What is left? Determine the determinant of what is left in that order. All right, our determinant is before, multiply major diagonal 6 and what? 11, minus the minor diagonal, which is 4 and what? 4 and 7. All right, this was our previous class. That's why I'm rushing here. So that was going to be 66 minus 28. And it's going to give us something like 38. All right, is that so? 66 minus 28. That's 38. All right, so that is how we can simply have the minor of what? 0. All right, let's move on. The minor of -5. on B, we need the minor of what? Negative 5. Where is negative 5? All right. Let me see if I'm going to win. All right. Yes. Yes. All right. That's it. Sorry for that. All right. So this is it. Negative 5 is our focus this time. And this is where we've got our negative 5. So the question is, how do you determine the minor? You simply find the determinant after closing the row and the column. Determinant that is found by closing the row and column where that element is. The element negative 5 here. It is found in which row? This is the row where negative 5 is. Remember, you're focusing on what? Negative 5. So the row where it is found and the column where it is found. Negative 5 is found in this column. So you close it. The row and column. Row, column, where that negative 5 is. So the minor is the determinant of what is remaining here. By simplifying that determinant, you have determined the minor of what? Minor of negative 5. So what is left after closing? We are left with this. It's a 2 by 2. Minus 2, 6, minus 3, 7 in that order as it is. You form your second order determinant, then evaluate it. Simplify this. All right. So negative 2 and 7 minus the minor diagonal 6 and what? Minus 3. 6 and negative 3, just like that. So you're going to obtain negative 14 minus 6 times negative 3. That's what? Negative 18 minus minus, it's a plus. So at the end, you're going to obtain a positive what? A positive 4. This is the minor of what? The minor of minus 5 is 4. The minor of a certain element. Simply close row and column where that minor is. Moving on to the other question, we need the minor of what? Minor of 4. So we must locate the 4 first. Where is it that we have a 4? Minor of what? 4. 4, we have it here. This is where we've got our 4. And it won't be a repetition that there's a 4 here, there's another 4 here. No, no, no. They won't do that. They'll ask numbers which are not repeated. So the minor of element 4 is found by what? Closing the row and column. Then determine the determinant. Where that 4 is, the row 4 here is in this row. It is found in this row. You close the row. The same 4 is found in this column. So you close the column where that 4 is found. By doing so, you are to determine the determinant of what is left. After closing this and closing this, you are left with what? 0, 3, minus 3, 7. It's a 2 by 2 matrix that is left. You are left with what? 0 in that order. 3. And here there's what? Negative 3. Here there is a 7 in that order or manner that you see here. You determine the determinant, just like before. So it's an easy approach that you can simply use. Yes, you can see other presentations that might be confusing, guys. This is simply what you need so that you do not have to cram. You just need to follow these stages. You're done. So 0 minus, this is going to give us what? Negative 9. That's a plus. So 0 plus 9 is what? Is 9. Positive. So the minor of 4 is 9. The minor of the element 4 of the number 4 that you're given is what? Positive 9. So those are the typical questions that you might be given on determining the minor of a certain element. So we shall meet again in the next class, still focusing on the third order determinants, but that will be the core factor or core factor of an element. So that is it till we meet again.